Yes? Are we on?
We're on.
All right. So, happy 2 o'clock, everybody. My name is Cheryl Fisher, and my camera person today is Jim Hansen. And we are here to talk about Holey habitats. Thank you, Jim, for the alliteration. I really appreciate that. But what we're going to focus on today are crevice dwellers. So I'm going to take this off. So right now, I actually had a student, many of you guys know that I teach, and I had a student reach out to me recently that her father had cut down a tree and found these birds on the ground. Now, while it's spring and we want to get out there and start cleaning up our areas, we need to remember that there's a lot of life out there still. So even though these trees and areas might look dead or lifeless to us, they are teeming with life. So it's really important to remember that these spaces are wonderful habitats for not just mammals, but a lot of birds and definitely insects. So we're going to take a look at some habitats that we've provided here on the premises at Cedar Run, and we're going to talk about what to do if we do those cleanups and we find that we have found life in those dead things that we have left alone since the fall. And really the fall is the best time to clean that up. So we're going to take a look around. We have quite a bit of habitat going on here, whether it's natural. We have 171 acres of protected pineland habitat here, but because of the houses and the areas that we have that are man-made here, we have provided additional spaces that are also man-made for these creatures. So right here, if you take a look, just right here on this tree, we have just a regular dog food can and a little cap on it where it has several holes. Now these holes are spaces for insects to lay eggs, and they just pack over it. And insects are good. They provide food for many of the animals that live out here. And even though we don't like insects, like mosquitoes, many insects do eat other insects. So it's important to provide that habitat for them. So over here, we have many insect hotels, as you can see. And lots of these dead trees. I can see here that something has been working on it. And if you just heard, I hear a woodpecker in the distance. So that was a red-bellied woodpecker. Or they don't really have a red belly. They have a red head. So when you see these trees that are out looking very dead, as you can see around us, some of these trees don't look very healthy, but they are providing quite the buffet for many species that live out here. So this tree was cut down, not here on the property, but we do tend to find these things and provide artificial habitat for our resident animals. But as you can see, while it looked like just a dead tree before it was cut down, it was a wonderful habitat for many animals. So this is where squirrels and raccoons, great horned owls, barn owls, they prefer these cavities, which are very, very safe. They are wonderfully insulated. They can pack in here. They also provide a little bit of a food source. So I do see a bit of insect damage in here. And you can see the size of my hand.
Somebody did ask if they find some baby birds in a nest from a cut down bush, what should they do with them?
And is that Ashley or Brenda?
This is somebody named Heather.
Oh, hi Heather. Yes, so if you find something that has been cut down, you can actually take this piece, if it was a tree. Oh, we have a woodpecker. That was wonderful. If you had this section of the tree, the nest was mostly intact, you could actually strap this back to a tree that is very close to the area where it was originally found. Or you can take a planter, well, You can take a planter and put the babies in the planter and just hang it up near that tree. You can provide an artificial type of nest and attach it to that tree. You can also make sure that you don't feed those babies, really important, because different species eat different things, and our wildlife hospital is receiving a lot of baby birds this time of year because of these cleanups. So we just want to make sure that we provide every opportunity for these parents to still take care of these babies, because while we are very good at our jobs over here at Cedar Run at our wildlife hospital, we do take care of over 5,000 animals every year, and providing the best care for them is the best thing for them, and that's their parents. But if you are not successful with reuniting these babies with their parents, by all means, bring them in. So our animal hospital is at 6 Sawmill Road, and you can just drive them over. Our staff is here from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. To be able to assist you, but we do have a 24-hour drop-off area where you can leave the animals, and there are instructions on how to do that. So if you think the animals definitely need to come in, please by all means bring them in, because we want to make sure that they survive and go back out into the wild. Any other questions at this time?
Nope.
No? I hope that was helpful, Heather. But as you can see here, we have a lot of birds. You can hear them, and Jim and I actually saw a bat earlier, which was kind of incredible. It was probably too hot in his crevice, because those are also crevice dwellers, so bats will tend to find spaces like this. A lot of people are fearful of bats. Don't be. They are perfect for help keep the population down. But let's see if we can find any other crevice dwellers in our area. So we have some dead trees out here. And often we can find squirrels and birds utilizing them. But I think I heard some activity in this tree right here. So this tree, of course, is a model, and we do have something living in this tree. So let's see, what could we have in this tree? Oh my goodness, what could it be? Oh, maybe it's a cavity dweller. Let's see. Are you a cavity dweller? Yeah. You are? Yes, she is. So as you guys can see, this is a little eastern screech-owl. Not that we have favorites, but Gemma is a friend of mine. She is an eastern screech-owl that would definitely utilize an old tree that had been hollowed out, much like the one that we saw earlier. I think she's posing for you guys. Are you posing? Hello. Hi. Did you say hi to Jim? Yeah? So sometimes she's a little chatty. So this animal is truly nocturnal. Say hello, Gemma. And you don't have to worry too much about these guys having babies in the trees right now. These guys have already fledged their offspring by this point, because these guys nest in the winter and hatch them early in the year, about March. I know. And it only takes a month or so for them to grow to be adults. Can you see how big she is? She's not very big at all. She does crack me up. Say hello, Jim. That's a funny face thing you have. I always wonder what these animals are thinking with all these masks. Nope. She says no. But in the fall is the best time to do those cleanups, because it's colder. The insects aren't moving around. Right now, the insects are very active. They are very active trying to eat and reproduce, and the birds are very active in trying to eat and reproduce and raise their young as well. Hello. Yes. So it's really important for us to remember to watch out for those moments where, hi, it's okay. You can come up and watch. We do have visitors. For those of you that are wondering if we are open, we are. It's just our nature center that's not open. Like I said, our animal hospital is very busy this time of year, mostly due to human impacts. So pets and cutting down of trees right now. So Gemma came to us in the winter. As long as your arm's length, it's fine. You know, 6 feet, it's fine. And we just have some visitors here, guys. We love to talk to visitors. We do have staff here on the weekends. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. Any questions? Yes, Gemma here is an Eastern Screech-owl. And it's really important for you guys when you're cleaning up your yards to make sure that I did an episode last week on baby animals. So just make sure that you're keeping an eye out for these clumps of things that look awful to us, but they are providing wonderful habitat for these animals. So bunnies tend to just be in small divots, and baby birds are out there like crazy right now. Yeah. She's an Eastern Screech-owl. Yep.
I learned it from my son from coming here. Like, it's so weird.
Oh yeah, this is Gemma. So she's one of our educators. That is not working very much right now because our animals are not leaving the premises, and we're not visiting the program sites that we normally do. So we are providing online programs though. So if you guys are interested in a specific program for maybe a group or a school group or even birthday parties, we can do an interactive type of activity for you guys. And in these days, it's very strange, but we're trying to keep it as normal as possible. But as far as cleaning up, I just want you guys to know that there are things living in those holes. So while they look horrible to us, just consider that there are animals utilizing those spaces, and it is really wonderful habitat for them. And to just please wait until the fall, or at least keep an eye on the area before you decide to cut. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about Gemma?
There's a question about how long should they wait to see if the mother bird comes back to a baby that was left behind or you found on the ground?
Excellent. So if a baby is on the ground, right now fledglings are all over the place. They usually have short stubby feathers. They're trying to fly around. They're hopping quite a bit. They spend about 10 days on the ground, 7 to 10 days hopping around, and you'll see parents come down to feed them. Now, if you don't see the parents come back within 24 hours, then I would be concerned. So just make sure that you are watching from a great distance. You might hear sounds. Right now I hear robins and all kinds of things. So a lot of times the birds will yell to their offspring, just stay still, because we look like predators to them. We are predators. And they are often saying, just be careful, there's something coming. And we like to scoop things up and care for things. It's just our nature. But it's really important when dealing with wildlife to make sure that you watch from afar. Anybody else? No more questions? Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. If you don't have any other questions, all right.
We're allowed to go see the animals?
Absolutely. The animal housing area is right there. Yep. So thank you so much today, and I'll see you next week.